Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is just to show something off. I've been talking to you guys a little bit on the main channel about ReShade recently, and yesterday when I was messing around with sharpening, I really started to realize just how powerful this can be. What you're currently seeing is a very exaggerated sharpening effect that I ended up producing, trying to figure out like which toggles meant what, so I exaggerated certain effects so that I could see how other sliders and numerics that I was entering into the system could affect things. And what I ended up with was something that looks like this, basically playing a graphic novel of some style. It's a little bit like how Borderlands portrays its graphics, and it's pretty incredible. I had no idea that I knew that the system could do a lot of things. I knew it could add depth. I knew that it could basically do everything GemFX did, except better and more controllable. But I had no idea that you could basically apply huge filters that could completely change the look of the game. This isn't the only one. There's a plugin suite for ReShade that you should see some screenshots on the screen right now that adds like these awesome storybook filters to things. I mean, this is huge. This is really huge. I'm making no promises, but this is the kind of thing that you can do to just run in game and get some really fabulous screenshots that look like storybook style, and that can really help in videos. You know, if I'm ever discussing story elements and stuff like that in the future, I can take screenshots or play games, you know, find scenic images, you know, stuff like this, and just kind of record with no UI. That's my monkey there. And you get kind of these amazing shots. I've kind of already had my moment where I was fanboying like mad about how good this looks. Obviously, it's very stylized, and the game's not like entirely playable. The skills look a bit messy and stuff. But just for running around, for getting scenics, man, you can do some pretty crazy things. So I think it's very likely that I will end up doing a video on ReShade. My main problem right now is the sharpening you get with sweet effects is something called Luma Sharpen. And the Luma Sharpen I specifically have on my preset for sweet effects is gorgeous, like really gorgeous, and I'm finding it very hard to replicate that exact type of sharpening over in the ReShade side of things. Those of you who know a little bit about ReShade will know that you can kind of package it with sweet effects, but it gets very, very complicated in a variety of ways that really I didn't want to go into with this video. Look at the world map! Look at this! Look at how cool this looks! You can kind of zoom in, and all this is a very, very simple, like, heavy sharpening that's put an outline over everything. But my god, it looks so badass. There's some really awesome shots you can get. Let's go to a couple of my favorite pretty areas, and I'll probably just trail the video off with a whole bunch of these things. But yeah, mostly what I'm trying to do is just get like that baseline back, that baseline clarity. Oh, I've got an alarm going off on my phone. That baseline clarity and clearness, vibrance that I've got on my regular sweet effects you're seeing on most of the videos. I was very, very cautious when I originally set that up, when I was looking specifically at GemFX as well a while ago. I wanted something that would look really good, but wasn't too extreme. Like, this is obviously a taste thing, what you're seeing right now. It's not really in the same ballpark at all, but, well, you know, some people really like very, very thick bloom. Some people like incredible vibrance, and like they love like whacking up the saturation so that the game looks completely, you know, thick fantasy. Some people prefer it to look really dark and gritty all the time. You guys know I've been a bit of an advocate of having very dark environments in Guild Wars 2, specifically when it's night. But as a content creator, look at the water, man. As a content creator, it's not such a good thing. I've noticed a lot of the times in the videos, I've been getting some compliments on Verdant Brink in the recent like beta videos that I'm doing, which is currently still ongoing. I've been getting some compliments of people saying, oh, you know, it looks really good. Your Verdant Brink looks really, really dark. But I'm not sure how much I like that. It can drag a lot of the like detail away. When people look at it on small screens, they don't full screen, they don't go up to 1080p, they don't, you know, sit close to their monitor. Maybe they want to sit back somewhere else in the room like I do when I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos. They lose a lot of, you know, that gorgeous, look at the sky, man. They lose a lot of that when it's very dark. And so I'm not entirely sure on what I want to do there. And it's kind of just a good example of the preset I eventually want to use is just going to try and enhance things without going too extreme in one way or the other. Even though, as an actual player, I would probably do things like the dolphins. I would probably... Oh, God, we're being attacked. Oh, my God, yeah, enemies look really good as well. I sent out a tweet of this last night, and I'll show you guys where I went to. Because I noticed just, like, looking at ogres, they look badass. They look like they're straight out of some kind of superhero comic book. We went to... Where was it? Timberline, and then I think I was like here at Gaia Rapids, and I went north. So yeah, I might have, if I was personally a different player, I might have been doing more extreme stuff. I think videos like this would be kind of interesting. So I'll just throw this to you guys here on Concrete Ducks before I do anything on the main channel. Do you think that this looks just kind of ridiculous and terrible? And like, if I did like one random video that was using a filter like this, what would you guys think? Like, I don't know, would people be like crazy offended by that? Be like, oh, this is unwatchable? Or will they just kind of appreciate that, you know, it's a little gimmicky thing that maybe we can do for one day? The thing is as well, this is just kind of an accident. This is a byproduct of something else I was doing. And there are actual plugins that let you have very intentional, desired effects. So we got an Etin, and as he runs to us, look at how picturesque that looks over there. We got an Etin, and as he runs out, he just looks so cool. Look at this guy. Oh my god, he looks freaking badass. And you know, I'm thinking of the idea of playing with those. What if you had like a random video where it just, you know, is like an art book style for a while, and then you do another video. The funny thing is as well, this kind of stuff has been possible for me for a long time through post-processing. Well, this is post-processing. But when I drop it in editing software, I've been able to, you know, add effects like this. That's never been a problem. It's just a different experience to be able to play it and do it in real time, you know. Not, as a friend of mine pointed out, not, you know, just to take a screenshot and then, you know, apply a filter to this in Paint. You know, to actually be able to do this in real time. One other area, I suppose, I can show you guys would be over here at Drytop. To explain a little about ReShade, because there is a lot to it. The idea is you had sweet effects for a long time. And then you had other people kind of adding different shaders and things, you know, like the lens flares and stuff like that. And eventually you had kind of sweet effects. Is it dark again? Gem effects, sorry. What? How is it dark again? What the hell? It literally only just turned day. Apparently I'm always recording during... Oh, do you know what looked really pretty as well over here? Apparently I always record these days when it's night interior, just because the game hates me for that reason. And, you know, when you exaggerate the nights, I always pay attention to it now when I'm recording. I never used to. But now I'm like, do I really want to? Look, so it's raining right now. It won't be raining when we move forward. This is the Isle of the Soundless over here. And here we go. It gets a bit brighter when we move on out of the rain. And we can, oh, well, I guess we'll just come over to this beach here. But so the idea was you had these things, and then kind of ReShade came along. And this is where the latest versions of sweet effects are found. And the idea is it's like an umbrella thing. ReShade allows you to pick and choose, in theory anyway, whatever third-party plugins you like for these kinds of effects. So you can use... So there's another suite, okay, that came out with this that called Master Effects. And that's largely what I use. But then I have an additional sharpening thing here as well. Again, because I'm trying to make... Master Effect doesn't have Luma Sharpen. So it didn't look exactly like Sweet Effects, though it borrows a lot of the same things. So you can kind of just plug in exactly what you want. I like how the chat doesn't change here either, which is really interesting to me. So you can kind of just plug in the whatever effects you like. And that's kind of the idea behind ReShade. It's very smart about the way that it does stuff, but it just takes that little bit more effort to install, I guess. Not too much. And in theory, if I did a video on it, once I found all my perfect settings, I can easily just, like, Dropbox an archive or something and be like, here you go, guys. This is exactly what we need. You're going to need to have my effects exactly. You know, these are all the different shaders that I'm using, and all of their settings are already set up. These are your configurations, and then kind of away you go. But I also want to teach people how to use it, because the truth is, these are only really powerful. The only reason Sweet Effects is so powerful at the moment is because though a lot of us do know about gem effects, and, you know, a fair chunk as well, I'd say these days, know about ReShade too, which is a lot older than you might think, a lot of us don't make presets for them. We don't make settings, and that's so important. Sweet Effects has got these vast amount of presets there. People understand them. People go in there. They try and make what looks good for them. They get really proud of it after a while. You know, the aesthetic that they've ended up achieving, and then they put it up on the database. And there's just not that kind of stuff for ReShade. One of the biggest problems with ReShade was that the Z buffer was broke until recently. Someone like basically hacked it out. It was supposedly broken just because this is a network game, and in like FPSs you can use it to cheat or something, so they disabled it, but then he kind of hacked it out. And it was really striking to me that this was the first time I'd ever seen like some real, oh, here's how you can make God rays. Look, yeah, God rays I'm not demonstrating, none of the lighting effects I'm demonstrating here. This is how you can make God rays look really good in Guild Wars 2. You know, and we hadn't seen that before. You don't see people specifically talk about this game. You see it with other ones. So yeah, I kind of want to teach people how it works. So maybe, just maybe, we'll end up getting, you know, more people talking about it and uploading their presets and stuff. But yeah, so there you go, guys. This was a comic book style graphic novel, grungy, stupid, heavily outlined version of Tyria that kind of had me laughing and in awe last night, that I kind of just wanted to show off. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Cheers, and I'll see you next time.